Smorgasbord Radio Show.
Well, welcome back to the SmorgShow podcast. Buffet Bites, episode 134. I'm your host, Chris. And back in the studio, my co-host, the chief conspiracy correspondent, Jerome Malauskas. Woohoo! All right, Jerry. It's time for another episode of your favorite podcast, the Smorgasbord Radio Show, episode 134. Valentine's Day weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, Jerry.
This is my least favorite holiday.
Well, we're going to try to shake it up for you because this is actually Palentine's Day.
Well, I could get into that.
Yeah, we did Palentine's Day 2 years ago. I did it, the episode with Dave, who's a great pal.
Yes.
Dave Jackson, my old radio partner from high school, doing this radio show back in 40 years ago. We did Palentine's Day. That was the last time I saw him before the lockdown. That was the last episode, actually, before everything got
crazy.
Nutty crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
And what is Palentine's Day? Well, we realized that there are a lot of single guys out there that don't like Valentine's Day for various reasons. Relationships that have soured. This is for you. Now, I'm married. I've been married for not quite 30 years, but I've been with her for 30 years. So I haven't spent a Valentine's Day alone in almost 30 years. So
thanks for rubbing that in.
But I can still relate to those days when I couldn't stand Valentine's Day. So we're going to make this a little bit more palatable.
Yeah, I was going to say more palatable.
But what would really make this more palatable is actually take this on the road. Let's bring in this. Let's go to a sports bar, Jerry.
Hop in the car right now.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are. We're there. Well,
all right, that was fast. Hey, this is an accelerated episode. You know, we have to make things happen fast.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Place is big.
Yeah, it's a nice place I've reserved.
What the heck happened there?
I don't know.
I think the place is a little too rowdy.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to bond as men.
No, that's a good point. How do we bond as men?
Well, first of all, it's about setting up the group activity, making sure you have the right atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, let's get some beer going here.
This is a mighty good chocolate dunkel you have here.
Cheers.
Cheers. Clink.
Before we get into the list of men's group activities, it's important that you understand a few key points about how men share activities and socialize. First of all, you got to keep it casual.
That's true.
It's a mistake to step into a group of guys and say, hey, let's connect and talk about sensitive, vulnerable stuff and lovingly support one another.
You think we're a bunch of chicks?
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's the kind of language that makes a lot of guys cringe.
I can understand that.
And instead, you got to keep it casual, make it fun, position it as just another hangout with the guys. It's guy time.
Right. That all-important male bonding, which, to tell you the truth, I think has been taking a bit of a hit the past couple of years. What?
Oh, thought I heard something in the background there.
Yeah, I'm hearing all kinds of stuff, so I can't. It's hard for me to pick out one weird thing from another. But I would, going back to the point, I just think that the male bonding, the male experience, it's all been kind of like, all that toxic masculinity stuff. That we want to make masculinity fun and non-toxic.
That's right.
But not in that kind of weird, be less of a man thing. We're still keeping it very manly.
Now, I've taken this from the men's group. I guess I don't know if it's an online publication or an actual publication, so I am giving credit where I got some of this material.
Okay.
So first of all, keep it casual. Second is make it private. You don't need to explain that you're doing this to your buddies, but guys will engage and share more if they're in a small private group for a number of reasons.
Well, I don't know. It's not working too well here. This place sounds like a gymnasium.
For a number of reasons that we figure have to do with biology and mating, we've observed that most men will hold back engaging with the guys if there are other people around, especially women. Guys need to know that whatever happens or gets spoken about, especially in a men's support group format, doesn't leave the activity.
Sort of like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, right.
Vegas, in this case, being the men's group.
Yeah. Next is lead by example. The leader sets the atmosphere in which the guys will interact during their activity. So I guess this is all under the premise that I'm trying to pull together the guys to go out and do something. One of these activities that it's going to come up, we're gonna pick an activity together, I guess. And so I'm leading by example. So if I want you to engage with others openly and have meaningful conversations, I have to do it first.
Right. Okay.
So for me, this often means that
spill your guts, man.
Yes, I have to share a sensitive story and ask for the guys to share their thoughts.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well,
and finally, before we get to the activities, it says it's good to use a plant, not the living, green living things in the house.
Okay.
It's more about putting somebody in the room to ask a specific question. I've got a question, and it gets people to open up. So you get a plant that starts off the conversation. Somebody scored.
Maybe it's the plant.
I guess so. All right. So now that we understand how to properly set up the environment, it's time to talk about what activities are seen to work best to get the guys together. So number 1, build something.
Okay. I don't know if it'd be my particular thing, but...
Listen.
Let's go,
Wow.
Brandon. That's something every guy can get along and get with some buddies and go, let's go, Brandon.
Oh, man, this is a rowdy group here.
I hope they don't do the variant of that we'd have to put an R rate. We'd have to put an R rating on the pod.
Did they say the real thing?
No, I think it was Let's Go, Brandon.
Okay. I didn't hear that.
It wasn't FJB. It was
okay, well, we'll have to see. Anyway, it doesn't matter how big it is, or how small it is. No, hold on a second. I got to read this again.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how big it is or how it will be used. Working with your hands with others provides a common goal.
Well, there's a lot of double entendres in that statement.
Invite the guys over to chop wood, build a shed, or fix up your garden. What? Fix up your garden?
It's like, what the heck? This is not
you don't throw that. Wait, what is that?
Well, number 1, garden. Leave that to the ladies. But it's like you're just setting up this activity so you can get some work done that you didn't want to do a couple weeks previously. We're going to get together and do something. And it's like, hey. I got some stuff done.
You want to work on my spices garden? My spice garden?
Yeah. My herb
and spices?
Yes.
Come on, guys.
That's how we do a nice little, we'll build something, we'll do a nice little flower arrangement. Oh, actually, it is the other.
I hear something out there.
It is FJB. I thought it was Let's Go, Brandon.
Okay, well, all right.
Well, you get a little beer.
This is what you get when you come out to the suburbs, Jerry.
I know, and I'm loving every minute of it. There's a guy.
Wait. Oh. I don't know what that's saying there. They're cheering some team.
I think it's still FJB. I don't know. But I do like to point out that in my neighborhood, there's a guy. I assume it's a guy. I don't know. Maybe it's a woman. They have a big picture window in front of their apartment, second floor apartment, and it's just filled with a Trump banner. So
okay.
All is not all. Yeah, I know.
In the city.
Yeah, and the picture window is like, are you trying to get this thing smashed? But now nobody.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody cares now.
Yeah. All right. We got 20 of these. We got to pick up the pace here. Number 2, adventure activities that don't require any skill. Okay, that sounds like me. Activities like this allow everybody to participate and get into the mix. Surfing or hunting. You need a specific set of skills to keep up.
Yeah.
Go-karts, inner tubing at a ski resort, whitewater rafting, or bungee jumping activities that any guy can participate in.
Bungee jumping?
Bungee jumping. Into my garden.
How about a nice hike in the woods? I think that'd be better.
Well, maybe that's coming.
Yes.
Number 3, speed dating style introductions. This is no joke. For a structured men's group experience, there is nothing better than to give the guys introductions to one another at the beginning of the event so that they can quickly figure out who they want to talk to later. It's like, oh, that guy sounds interesting. At the start, this always feels forced, but guys always say that it was the most efficient way that they could have discovered who they shared commonalities with.
Good point, because guys like efficiency.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Number 5, games night.
Okay,
The competitive nature of most men will have them engaging within a few minutes. Simple games we recommend are Monopoly, Deal, and Cards Against Humanity. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Or you could play poker. Yes.
Sounds like a hipster game. Cards Against Humanity, man. How ironic.
Yeah. Okay. Video games. Okay. I've never been into video games. How about you?
No. I think the most I ever got into was like Galaga or something. That's as advanced as I ever got.
Pac-Man probably is.
No.
Actually, I had a nice cocktail table video game. Do you remember that in college?
I do. Actually, that was from earlier on because I think you had it when you were living at home, weren't you?
I don't remember if it was there. I had a jukebox.
I remember the jukebox.
My stepdad was in the video game industry, and so he gave me a jukebox that had the 45s. Really cool. It was like futuristic at the time because it had like display, like a monitor that told you like the song, and it was it was pretty cool. But I got to pump it with 45s. And I worked at a record store at the time, so it was really cool to pump that thing. But then I had to sell it because we had to sell our house, and I couldn't take it off into my dorm room. The thing was huge. But no, he gave me a cocktail game.
Okay.
The game was called Frenzy.
Okay.
And what I liked about it is that I could get inside into the motherboard, and I could flip the little switches, and it would give me endless lives. Instead of dying after 3, deaths.
That sounds like the video games nowadays. It seems like you don't ever die in video games these days.
Yeah. But it was cool because I was able to go into the 50th level and see the rooms that you couldn't do if you just got knocked off after the first, round. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I digress. But other than that, I was never really into video games. Shared goals and learning. Guys do well with learning and achieving goals together. Perhaps you and your guys can learn about investing. Maybe you want to get really fit. Having shared goals will bring guys together. It gives you an excuse to interact and communicate more often.
Oh, I just think that's an extension of the bonding. I mean, that's the whole idea of the bonding experience, if you will.
Sure.
Is because it's like the shared interests. I like to think, there's competitiveness with guys, but I think also maybe the competitiveness, at least for more mature guys, would be to help spur your friends on. In a strange way, it's a competitiveness that is supportive, a supportive competitiveness.
Yeah.
I think I found a new phrase.
Number 8, self-care activities.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on.
Self-care.
Now that sounds a little LGBTQ plus. I mean, so what is explain that one, please?
On men's groups, wait.
It goes. It's almost like if you hear it one way and you can hear it one thing, and then you hear it the other way, and you can, it's the flip. I can hear both. I can hear both. Depending how I'm, thinking at the point.
I know it's programmed.
come on, man.
Okay, so
come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Self-care activities on men's group trips that have we've led in the past. We would often schedule a self-care focused activity night before big dinner. Why? Because the guys would be way more present with each other than after doing activities like yoga, meditation, and others. Oh, so I guess you could do yoga together. I don't see why I would want to do this.
I don't even really want to do yoga with other people in a yoga class.
No.
Let alone with doing it with a bunch of dudes.
I'm going to skip over some of these because I have no interest in knowing more. Support group style conversations. Number 10, book clubs. No, thank you.
Hell no.
Number 6, number 11, go for breakfast. Now you're talking. We got food here.
Well, food, yeah.
Yeah, food always brings guys together. Number 12, trivia night.
I'd be great at that.
Number 13, the compliment game. If you're looking for a more structured way to get the conversation flowing, you could play the compliment game. Each man can stand up, and the other guys will share what they like about him. You can do the same with gratitude or constructive feedback as well. Jerry, stand up. Oh, wait a minute. Should I stand up?
Well, okay, I'm standing.
I'm supposed to stand up. Jerry, I like your sensitivity.
Chris, I like your eyes.
I feel closer already.
See?
Number 14, the brag circles. Get the guys to sit in a men's circle.
Well, that one makes more sense to me than the upliftment one.
Well, yeah, let's go on here. And encourage them to share their top 3 accomplishments or whatever they feel most proud of. This is a great, because guys don't usually have the opportunity to bring them up. And they make for better conversation starters and bonding topics.
Right, but usually the wife doesn't want to hear about it. I don't care about what you did. Go.
Did I tell you about how many touchdowns I scored when I was in high school?
Go to your man cave. Leave me alone. That's what a wife would do.
Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Number 15, get out into nature. Now you're talking.
Well, call me nature boy.
It sounds simple, but some guys' demeanors change once they get out into nature. Go for a group stroll in a beautiful place. Go for a hike. Go fishing.
Well, it was like group grope.
Grope. I don't see that on the list.
Grope and stroll.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Number 16, the pool or hot tub. Yes. My guy friends and I have made visits to the pool a regular occurrence because there's something about sitting in a hot tub that encourages conversation. Because it's just a change of environment, being in water, but it lends itself well to mingling. You can work your way between the pool, hot tub, and sauna and mingle with the different guys in your group. Hey, man, how's it going over here? I just came over from the pool, but this is much warmer here.
Okay.
All right.
And then we have our, we'll also then go to the bathhouse and the leather bar afterwards. Maybe?
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I digress myself.
Number 17, dog walks.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
That's okay.
Because that kind of ties into the nature thing as well. Of course, I'd hate to be the poor person that has to clean up after if they have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
The dogs, that is. Hopefully not the guys.
Number 18, enjoy time at the barber shop.
You know, it sounds funny, but, as someone who is lived or worked, well, not lived or worked, but been adjacent to the African-American community, the barber shop is a very important place.
Sure.
And actually, if you go back years ago, it was a very important place for everyone. You go talk to your grandfather, you won't get your great-grandfather, he's dead. But they'll tell you used to go to the neighborhood barber shop and you'd shoot the breeze. I mean, the whole Floyd the Barber and Mayberry, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Andy.
Number 19, play with tools. There's a connection between men and the toolbox. I've never been particularly handy, but you are.
Well, handy enough anyway. My job, you kind of have to be. But I would say, yeah, there's something to that because I got to say, when I get a job I have a job well done at work, and it takes, some building acumen or some other kind of more involved process, whether it be like painting or hanging something on the wall or whatever, you do get a really good sense of accomplishment after you do that. So that's something that feeds my particular male ego. So
Okay.
it makes sense.
That's really good. And the last one, my favorite, grab a drink after work. Drinking in the company of friends is the easiest way for guys to bond. Booze, cocktails, hard liquor, spirits, mixed drinks, or wine. Have some wine, Jerry.
Nice wine spritzer.
Yes. The list is endless. But for men, having a couple of drinks with friends is the quickest way to unwind after a long week at work.
Oh.
Okay.
And we chant that as we're drinking. I don't know where you got this bar, man. This is a crazy bar that we got here.
Yeah. All right, we're back in the studio.
That was quite quick again.
Hey, just to close out this episode, just wanted to bring you up to speed on the latest on. There's a new study that says that wearing a face mask makes you more attractive to the opposite sex.
Pure propaganda. No one believes that.
Just in time for Valentine's Day, a study has come out saying that people wearing face masks are deemed to be more attractive than when they have nothing covering their faces, according to this new study. Cardiff University researchers, Cardiff, yeah, I think is that in England?
No, it's in Wales.
Oh, Wales, that's right.
The home of Tom Jones.
That's right. They claim that the masks make both men and women more appealing in the eye. The study, which began in February 2021, asked 43 women to rate images of men based on attractiveness.
Well, appealing to the eye. All you can see is the eyes.
Yeah. The pictures shown were two different kinds of face masks with a book that partially covered the faces and with nothing covering the faces at all. Both a blue medical mask and a plain cloth mask were used in the study. And participants said that those faces wearing surgical masks were the most attractive. Dr. Michael Lewis of the University School of Psychology said that the study proved our preferences have changed over time, with face masks deemed to make a person less attractive before the pandemic.
Yeah, okay.
He said, our study suggests the faces are considered most attractive when covered by medical face masks. This may be because we are used to healthcare workers wearing blue masks, and now we associate these people in caring or medical professions. At a time when we feel vulnerable, we might find the wearing of medical masks reassuring, so we feel more positive towards the wearer. Lewis added that it was possible face masks made people more attractive because it directed the participants' attention toward the eyes.
But they don't know that to be the fact.
No.
It's just their speculation.
The results of a second study asking men to rate women's attractiveness have not yet been released.
Well, if there's a corollary of the same thing for women as it is for men, then we have to say to our a Muslim community, especially the more traditional Muslim community who do the hijab and the burqa thing.
Yeah,
burqa must be like amazingly attractive, and I said our Muslim brethren have been on top of this. They knew hundreds of years
ago.
So
yeah,
great.
So as you're going out this weekend for Valentine's Day, actually everybody's wearing a mask, right? So I guess there's a lot of competition out there. So I guess it's all in the eyes.
Well, if that were the case, if his study is right, I should be getting, my phone should be blowing up. It hasn't been doing that, and there's plenty of people who see me with that blue surgical mask on at work.
Yeah,
they're not giving me calls. The ladies that go to the library.
I guess if they're attracted to you with the mask, and sometime that mask is going to come off, and that's when it's really tested on attractiveness.
That's true. That's true.